So active or passive? Well, obviously it all depends on what you're looking for, but having the best of both worlds is a great option. And if you do add an onboard active preamp to your bass, might as well be one that not only sounds good, but brings something new to the table. What I mean by that is something that adds character or specific color to your sound, but at the same time is flexible enough to adapt to your needs. And this is precisely what the Lusithand 800BM and JP do. Stick around to find out more about these two onboard preamps. Welcome back to The What a Bass. We already had a look at the 800 series preamp from Lusithand, but these are brand new versions. And I am thrilled to present them to you and share my thoughts about them. So in my videos, I usually stick to a script, but in this video, you'll get to discover a little bit the real me and understand why I like to stick to a script. There's going to be a lot of improvisation, but it's going to be like if you were here with me in my workshop and in the studio. So I hope you enjoy this. Don't get used to this unorthodox format, because unless you think it's cool, I prefer to stick to a script. Mostly because I tend to look for my words in English, as it is not my native language, as you probably already found out.
So I installed the 800BM in my bass. This is a prototype. It's one that I built myself. And I got a super cold, so that's why I'm talking weird. Well, I always talk weird. And so this is a 5-string 34-inch scale bass. Pickups are like precision bass design. So we got 3 magnets here and 2 here on the top strings. Same for the 2 pickups. The controls are quite simple. We got passive volume, passive tone, pickup selector. And down here we have the electronics. So this is a switch for passive, active. Passive when it's up, active when it's down. And here we have the contour switch, which is a very small little switch. And then we have a 4-band EQ. So before we have a look at the electronics of the bass, I just want you to look around at my working area. So it's a mess, but it's usually a lot worse. But, you know, that's my mess and I like it like that. So let's get to the important stuff. This is the 800BM, and you can connect all of the wires simply by screwing them inside these little holes that you have here on the sides. And let's find focus here. Yeah, good. And it's dead easy. These wires that come out here are the ones that connect to the EQ pots. You can decide how to connect the pots. I decided to put the treble below, down here, the highs, and the bass, the lows, down here, the second pot, and then on top I put the medium, the high medium frequencies and the low medium frequencies. And I do that because I consider that it's better to control the mids when you're playing in the band, and you want to make sure you free up some space for the voices and the guitars and this and that.
Or boost the mids to cut through. But let's go back to looking at the electronics.
This capacitor is enormous, but it was the one I had and I wanted to use that value. That's 68 nanorafarads. So passive switch for selecting the pickups. Passive tone, that's an alpha, it's made in Korea. And passive volume. They're both 250Ks. The volume knob is a linear knob, and the tone knob is a audio or logarithmic pot. Here we have the mini contour switch, here the passive active switch, and there's not much more to say. I got the battery in here. I don't really like the solution of having it separate, so next bass design is going to be different. I am already working on a new design with only one pickup. It's going to be like a big pickup, and what I'm aiming for are rock tones. But anyway, this is to give you an idea of what it looks like inside. Okay, it's not that easy to install, and Lusithand does have a preamp
that comes with 4 pots, one for volume, one for blending the pickups or panning between the pickups, and 2 concentric pots for the 4-band EQ. That one's called the 800 BMF, that stands for back mount full. And it's 100% active, no passive option, so...
Yeah, I wanted to keep the bass completely passive because it usually works great with overdrive pedals. And although sometimes just to add a bit of low mids or high mids or bass, you can turn the overdrive pedal into kind of a fuzz pedal.
And here's an example. And if you boost the highs and or the high mids, you can turn an overdrive into a distortion pedal. So sometimes an active onboard preamp definitely helps to sculpt the sound of your overdrive tone. Now let's listen to the bass and compare the active to the passive signal.
This is the passive tone of the 2 pickups. This is the neck pickup. Neck pickup. Okay, let's switch to active. So straight away, it's got kind of a color, but it's a nice color. Just a quick word also about the contour. Here you have it. Now, I used it in a concert, and I was having problems with all the mid-frequencies on stage.
And as soon as I turned the contour on, all of these mid-frequency problems instantly disappeared. It was like
having the bass occupy the sonic frequencies that it's supposed to occupy, and yeah, it was instant, and I was shocked, I was surprised, and I played all the time with the contour switch on. So yeah, let's go back to the regular without the contour switch active tone, and let's listen to the highs. That's boosted, passive again. Let's cut them. More. Passive. Active. So do we get the same results with a passive tone? Well, with a passive tone pot, sorry. Well, let's put it all the way down. It's quite big value capacitor that I use on my tone pots. So if we roll it off a little bit, let's try it with the bridge pickup. Okay, now let's go back to the active tone, active circuitry, and with the highs all the way cut down. So you get obviously better results with the tone pot, with the passive tone pot. So we can always turn it down a little bit. So there we are. Passive tone again, everything up. And now let's boost the lows. So this is the passive tone, passive sound, sorry. Active. Let's cut it. cut them. Who wants to cut bass? But anyway. Passive. Active. Okay, so it's what I like about the bass boost and cut function is that it doesn't get muddy, it doesn't get too big, and it adds the right amount of presence in the lows, and so that's really cool. Now let's switch to the high mids. So passive tone and high mids boosted. I'm clipping a little bit, but who cares? Let's cut them. Passive tone. Active tone. Okay, passive tone again, and we're going to boost the low mids. Active. Let's cut them. Okay. Passive tone again. And now let's switch the contour on. Contour off. Contour on. Passive. Contour on. Now what I like to do is boost the high mids and cut a little bit the low mids without the contour, with the contour. Sorry. So yeah, really, really nice sound. Passive again. Active. And if it's too clanky, with the passive tone, you can just take out some of the highest frequencies. Passive. With the 2 pickups. Active. Neck pickup. Passive. Active. That's it. Okay, same basic principle with the jazz bass, except that it comes in the chrome jazz bass plate. We got volume, a pan pot for selecting either the neck pickup over here, up here, or the bridge pickup down here. Then we've got treble and bass, high mids and low mids. So in this case, you cannot decide which ones, how you want, how to cable the pots. You just have to accept the way it is, and that's it. I have absolutely no problem with it. And the little switches are here: the contour switch. Here we have a passive 3-way tone selector, and here we have the active passive switch. They're all tiny. They're all pretty cute, which is something that is not relevant at all. Yeah, so let's listen to the passive tone first of the bass. Again, the pickups, I designed them myself. They're humbuckers, they're inline humbuckers. And I always have issues with the phase cancellation between the two middle strings with this kind of pickups. I rarely find inline hum cancelling pickups that do not have a slight volume drop with the two middle strings. So I worked hard to design something that just sounds with equal amount of volume for each pickup and each string. So paid off because it sounds great. Well, what can I say?
And these are the guts of the Jazz Bass. So as you can see, the electronic is pre-installed on the Jazz plate, on the chrome Jazz plate, and the battery is inside here. The only thing you have to do is screw in these cables. This is the neck pickup, bridge pickup, battery, and the output. And the output is 3 cables because there's the negative of the battery that is connected to the sleeve of the output stereo jack. If you are going to install it yourself, I would advise you to put some soldering tin on the tips of the wires so that they don't chip off when you screw them in. There's little more to say. It's super easy to install. If you don't have a stereo output jack that I installed on my bass, I made a video about that, by the way, then perhaps you should bring it to a luthier so that he does it for you. And so you don't have to worry about the paint chipping off from the side of the bass or whatever. Anyway, my bass is old and I like it the way it is with all these little marks and everything. And I'm lucky enough that it's quite in good condition. I played this instrument a lot, and this black paint is just it's thick and it's really resistant. So that's besides the point. As you can see, it's super easy to install. There's nothing else to do. Just screw in the wires and that's it. Oops.
So yeah, passive tone. And active tone. Wait, the contour switch is on. Contour switch is off. Again, passive tone. Active. Contour switch. So if it sounds too clanky, you can always switch the middle switch. You can always cut the highest frequencies passively. So it sounds a bit weird, but you can always help out the sound by boosting, for example, the high mids or cutting them and searching for that frequency that you do not like that much. And if it lacks clarity, you can always boost the highs. The pickup sound in the middle. And suddenly we have almost like a cab sim in our bass. And we can even add a bit of lows. So it's clipping a little bit, but it's brand new audio interface that I bought. It's the Audient ID24. It's clipping a little bit, but yeah, it's analog clipping, so it's not disagreeable. So it sounds so good, right? right out of, well, yeah, I was going to say right out of the box, but it's not right out of the box. You have to work a little bit on it. But it sounds, this is the neck pickup. Lovely. So if we want to get a nice jazz pickup sound, we can even turn the lower even more the passive tone, and this is so it sounds really muffled. So let's try to boost some high mids and cutting some low mids and boosting the lows, for example, all the way up. Let's go back to the passive tone so that you can compare. So it sounds distant, but as soon as you put it on active, so I mean, there's so much that we could look at, but I think you get a pretty good idea of what it can do, and yeah, impressive. It's a mature product. It works really well. What can I say? I'll probably say more now.
Well, no, I don't have anything else to say, and this video is long enough. Thanks, Nuno from Lusithand, for sending me these two beautiful preamps, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at the What a Bass channel, and that's all. Bye-bye.